Hello students, welcome back to the material for English 3 for Diploma 3 and with me Miss Mona Lisa Pasaribu. We are going to have materials for English 3 for week 2 and with the subject code KU32101. We are going to talk about the topic for this week, which is about computer architecture. So let us check the material for this week. So as you can see over here, the outline for this week, we're going to have a quick review on the materials we have discussed last week. And then we are going to continue with the objectives, discussing about the objective of the lesson. And then we are going to talk about the computer architecture, which is the main topic for this week. And then we'll talk about the grammar, which is about present perfect tense and past tense, and we'll have a quick practice. So we'll have a quick review. So my review question here is, do you know computer users who use computer for earning? Like earning means for money. So they are working in computers to make money. If you know anyone who are like that, what do they do? What do you know? What kind of job they are doing? Actually, yeah. So I want you to post your answer for this question in the column YouTube comments below. So pause this recording and then after that post your answer in the YouTube comment. Okay, so now we will continue with the material for this week. So the objectives for this week is quite similar to what we had last week, which is about comprehension of IT related texts. Okay, so if last week we are talking about computers getting smaller and smarter, then this week we are going to talk about cache. Cache is one part of the computer, which is the topic of our discussion this week, is about which is about computer architecture. So we're going to investigate what is this, and then after that we will connect this, or we will relate it to the grammar, which is about present perfect tense and past tense. So yeah, so when you're talking about computer architecture, obviously we are talking about the materials, because when we talk about architecture, then we're talking about the design, we're talking about the function, we also talk about the parts of the computer. Okay, so what comes first to your mind when you hear the word computer architecture? If you ask me, the first thing that I will notice when someone talk about computer architecture is the screen of a computer, because without the screen in the computer, you won't be able to see anything inside, anything presented. Okay, well, you may also have a different thoughts about the computer architecture. About the computer architecture, then you might then this is going to be my question for this week's discussion in e-course. So so go ahead post your answer in e-course forum with the question, what comes to your mind when you hear the word computer architecture, and why do you think this is an important part in a computer architecture? Yeah. Okay, so we will have a look at what the definition of computer architecture is. So it is a specification describing how hardware and software technologies interact to create a computer platform or a system. So it's not only the hardware. So just now I mentioned about screen, and that's actually only the hardware. But according to the definition by computer science, it is the combination, a specification describing how hardware and software interact to create a computer platform or a system. Yeah, so that's the definition of a computer architecture. So now we're going to have a look at one reading that is related to computer architecture. which is I would say it is a combination between the hardware and the software. Yeah, so it is about cache. Okay, so this word you read it with the word with the pronunciation cache. Okay, so this cache works. So this caching, so have a look and read it by yourself. And as I mentioned, for your reading, I would like you to do the reading as instructed in the first video. Stop this video or pause this video and then record your own voice, and then check the words that you don't understand for this text. Okay, and then later if you still have confusion about the reading text, you may ask me during the session, or you can also pop up the question in our WhatsApp group. Okay. So after you have read this text, what I want you to do is, okay, so I actually provide this text, another text here, and you can actually see it in our campus information system. I have uploaded the materials in our campus information system. So I provided here some questions, so it's a match-up question. So if you have read the two texts that I have given to you, then I reckon you will be able to comprehend the text and then answer this question. So what is the definition of each phrases over here? So we have cache hit, cache controller, cache coherency, write through cache, write back cache, and line size. So there are 6, and there are also 6 definition. Okay, make sure that you answer this before our practicum class. If you have difficulties, go back again to the reading and then look at the keywords. Like for example, the phrases over here, cache hit, cache controller, and everything. Have a look, and then after that, try to find out which is actually the best description for these phrases or for this terminology. Okay, so that's for the comprehension for IT related text. Now we will move on to the grammar comprehension or grammar discussion. So as I mentioned, there are 2 grammar that we are going to discuss, 2 grammar types that we're going to discuss. The first one is present perfect tense, and the second one is past tense. Okay, so I think for these 2 grammars, because though these grammars are pretty, I would say, common to discuss for English learners, then I think this is going to be a quick review only for the grammar discussion. Yeah. So let's have a look at these examples of present perfect and past simple sentences. So you can see over here in present perfect, it says, I scanned in about 1/3 of these photographs. And then in the past simple or simple past tense, it says, I scanned in about 1/3 of these photographs. Okay, so I've scanned and I scanned. I've organized and I organized. I've added and I added. Okay, so the difference from this, I think you can see, is the one is using or have over here, and then the other one is only using the verb to. Okay. So what is actually the function of each? Okay, so let's have a look. Both simple past and present perfect can refer to actions which take place before the time you write or speak. So we can talk about something in the past using past tense and present perfect tense. However, actions in the past can take place in a finished period of time, which means it's ended already. Okay, while in present perfect, it is unfinished, or there is no specific time whether it's finished or not. Okay, so that's the difference between past tense and present perfect tense. Past tense, when you say I ate, then you finish. But when you say I've eaten, maybe you still want to eat until now. Right? That. Okay, so that's the difference between past tense and present perfect tense. Okay, let's have a look over here. There are 2 sentences. 1. She studied computer last week. And then number 2, she has studied computer since last week. So let's have a look at the sentence number 1. The first sentence involves a finished period of time, which means last week. This indicates that the action of study computer has ended last week. So she studied computer last week and that's it. Okay, but for present perfect tense, it says she has studied computer since last year. It means sometimes from last year until now, it is still happening and maybe until the future. So it means that it is not a finished period of time, so we use present perfect in the second sentence. Okay? Okay, now we'll have a look at the example over here. It says there is a paragraph talking about a Welsh teenager that stole information. So let's have a look over here, yeah? In March 2000, a Welsh teenager allegedly stole information from more than 26,000 credit card accounts across British, the US, Japan, Canada, and Thailand. FBI agents and British police arrested him. He has been charged with 10 counts of downloading unauthorized information. So this indicates that when you're there are both words over here. You see stole, arrested, and has been charged. So when you use the word stole and arrested, it means that this person has done it and it's finished. So it's stole and it's done, arrested and it's done. But when it says he has been charged, that it means that he is still doing the punishment until now. Okay, so that is the example of the use of past tense and present perfect tense in a text, in a simple text like this. Okay, so we'll have a look at the example of we'll have a look at the patterns for past tense. I think this one you already know. For the pattern using verb 2, so you're using subject plus verb 2, and then for passive you're using subject plus was or were plus verb 3 plus the object. For example, in 1950s people used typewriters to write letters. In 1950s typewriters were used to write letters. Now for past tense, there are time signals that can help you to decide whether this is past tense or present perfect tense. So the time signal for past tense is when you use when or something that says ago, and then during or last year, in some years, or yesterday or just now. That indicates that this tense that is used is past tense. Yeah. And what about present perfect tense? Now we'll look at the pattern. So when you use present perfect tense, make sure that you use verb 3. So it's subject plus has or have plus verb 3. And for passive, it says subject plus has or have plus been plus verb 3. Okay, so for example, users have used keyboard since the first invention of computer. Okay, keyboard has been used since the first invention of the computer. Okay, so that's the example of present perfect tense. And the time signal for present perfect tense is using for or since. Okay, now I want you to pause this video first and go and have a look at this reading over here. This text actually consists of plenty of tenses in present perfect tense and past tense. So what I want you to do, I want you to have a look at this reading. Click on the link over here and then look at this reading. This is about engineering and IT development from the past to present. Yeah, so have a look at this, and then what I want you to do after you read this text is I want you to identify 5 sentences for present perfect tense and also past tense based on what we have learned for today. Yeah, so list down 5 sentences in the present perfect tense, and 5 sentences in past tense. Okay, and then later we're going to discuss what does it mean by the sentences that you are listing down already. Okay. Yeah, so that's for our theory session for today, everyone. So for our practicum, I want you to have a look at the material for the practicum session. Please look at the materials, and there are plenty of exercises for the grammar, for present perfect tense and past tense. So please do the exercises before the class, and so we can discuss the materials easier. Okay. And next week we are going to talk about computer applications, and that will be on week 3. Yeah. So that is the end of my material for theory class for today. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on our practicum session. And don't forget to finish the exercises that I have asked you to do in the class, in e-course, and also in YouTube. Okay, see you everyone in the practicum. Goodbye.